3, 2, 1. Haha. Hey friends, Janky here, and welcome back to another Janky at PAX. And also, happy St. Patrick's Day! Yay, Ireland! All that good stuff. I am doing the traditional celebration of wearing green, drinking Irish breakfast tea from my green cup, and also eating bread and cheeses. Yes, in the traditional Irish tradition of bread and cheese. Haha. Okay, I'm going to level with you guys. The way that I actually celebrate St. Patrick's Day is the way that everybody in the United States celebrates it, which is I dress up in a ridiculous amount of green. I tell everyone who will listen about my great-great-grandparents who were Irish farmers who moved to Ohio for God knows what reason. And then, I just stream Luck of the Irish. although this Friday, Iron Fist is coming out on Netflix, so that's probably what I'll actually be doing. But if I have time, I'll definitely be streaming Luck of the Irish too, because that is a great movie, and I will fight anyone who says that it's not. So last time, I believe that I left off at Tiny Build, which was spectacular. Getting to see Party Hard 2, which I can't wait for, and also Graveyard Keeper, which looks hilarious. And Streets of Rogue, which is coming up on Janky's Lab as soon as I get around to recording that. It's been a week. Anyway, so what I did next. Okay, this is good. So the next thing that happened was immediately after my appointment with Tiny Build, I had learned earlier that day that Jesse, Cox, and Crendor were doing a signing at the Twitch booth, like a meet and greet that's like off to the side of the Twitch booth. And I was originally going to go to the Cox and Crendor signing on Sunday, but I figured if I met them then, that I wouldn't have to wait in line for the Cox and Crendor signing and I could get in more games. So I ran immediately from Tiny Build over to the Twitch booth. And it's a good thing I got there when I did, because their signing started at 2:30, which was around the time I got there. And the signing was supposed to end at 4, and I met them at like 3:45. So it worked out pretty well for me. It worked out pretty well for me. On a side note, that Twitch booth was awesome. It was set up, they had a stage in the front where people would sorry, let me put that down. So first they had this stage set up in the front that looked super cool. It was just like a nice little couch area where you could just sit and interview and talk and play games, which was super cool. They had a desk off to the side where they were giving away beanies, but I didn't know that until the last day after they ran out, because I guess I just didn't register that stand there. But they had a stand with merch over there and swag and awesomeness. And then off to the other side was the meet and greet station, kind of like around the corner from the stage. And then on the back side of the booth, they had some streamer pods for people who were streaming from PAX through Twitch. And then a nice little sit down area where you could watch what was happening on the front stage, which was cool. So yeah, I go through the meet and greet line and I meet Jesse and Crendor, which was super awesome. Now, you guys might recall a while back, I made a fan art piece. If I find it somewhere, I will post a picture here. I don't actually know if I have a picture of it. I think there's one somewhere on Twitter, but I'm not sure. Anywho, it is of Cox and Crendor as Calvin and Hobbes, and Crendor is Hobbes, and Jesse is a conniving little Calvin. And it was delightful and awesome, and I framed it, and I handed it to them, and they thought it was the best thing ever, which just like made my day. I have this thing, and I give it to them, and I'm just like, I don't know if you like Calvin and Hobbes, and they're like, who doesn't love Calvin and Hobbes? And I'm just like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. And of course, other people had given them some fan stuff too, but I was so glad that they liked it. And then I got my picture taken with them right here. It was super cool and nice. And then I talked to Jesse about Ohio, and he was like, bless you for being in Ohio. And we had a moment. We had a connection moment. And Crendor's awesome too, by the way. Not shutting out Crendor. Crendor is also the bomb. I love you both. And I also love this bread. So then after I met Jesse and Crendor, I actually had some time. I wanted to go to the Cox and Crendor panel, which was at 6, and that was around 4. I realized that I had left my friend Noah's Kingdom Hearts poster in one of the booths. I think the Tiny Build booth. So Tiny Build, if you happen to find a Kingdom Hearts poster in your booth, I apologize. I accidentally left that behind. But so I had to run back over to Square Enix, get a new poster for him. And then I finally meet up with the rest of the GamerBuzz. This is good. This is great. As you guys know, if you've been paying attention, I was at PAX because I am also a writer for GamerBuzz, a link to which you can find at the bottom of all my videos. If you actually open up the description, there's a link to GamerBuzz at the bottom of all of them. But yeah, I write for this gaming news website, and they like my articles so much that they're the ones who actually sent me to PAX. It was Jim, my editor-in-chief, Attack of the Afro over on Twitch. He's super cool. You should definitely go check him out. But also Tom Loco was there, and Vigo the Carpathian, and DZ Live, all of whom are streamers. I am one of the few YouTube writers on GamerBuzz, because if you guys know, watching my Twitch streams, my internet is terrible. But the thing was, I got in there late on Friday because of my delayed flight, and then Saturday, I had booked appointments for myself, like basically from the morning until the afternoon. And so I was kind of like running between these appointments, and then in the meantime trying to like get my bearings and check out other games. So it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon before I was finally like, okay, I definitely need to find where the guys are. So I went back and forth with Afro. Finally figured out they were up at the streamer booths at the main entrance. So I went up there, and I finally got to meet Tom and Vigo and Afro and DZ, and they were all super cool and awesome. And I just like awkwardly walked up to them and just started looking over their shoulders, and luckily they recognized me and knew who I was, and I wasn't just some creep, but it was good stuff. It was good stuff. And yeah, no, they're all awesome and cool, and I wish I could have got to spend more time with them, but you know, we were all just running everywhere, and you know, PAX, it's so busy. It's so busy, and we were all so busy doing things, and we well, the point is that I got to meet them, and they're awesome, and I can't wait to hang out with them more in the future. But anyway, let me tell you what we did. Okay, so after I met up with the guys, we went back down to the floor. I talked with Afro. We had a nice chat about what sort of articles we were planning on writing for the GamerBuzz site and all that good stuff. And then we were walking across the convention hall because DZ knew one of the guys who's at one of the computer building booths. And he was building these amazing computers. Like, if I knew anything about specs, these would be... I would be drooling because these computers are so awesome. As it stands, they looked amazing. They were that sort of like transparency with... it had like 2 graphics cards in them, and they were like the nicest ones. They were like, oh, who makes them? See, I'm just not good at this, but they were like, it was the one that's not AMD, that I know. But they were like super nice graphic cards. They had all sorts of high-powered fans, like internal cooling systems. These were top-of-the-line computers, and they were like ridiculous expensive, but man, would I love to have one of those. Oh, so nice. So we hung out there for a while, and then I know that Vigo had to go stream because he had a spot booked up at the streamer booth up at the front entrance. And then I wanted to go see Cox and Crendor. So I went off. I broke off from the group to go see Cox and Crendor. Totally worth it. I loved it. It was so great. Oh, but let me tell you about this thing. Okay, so the people who actually work the show at PAX, they're called the Enforcers, which is it's kind of a funny name because they're actually all very nice people and very helpful, and yeah, they will sometimes like make sure that people stay in line, but that's just to keep traffic moving, and they're all very kind people. But there was a group of enforcers walking around, and they were sort of the line entertainment for the people waiting at the theaters. So I'm waiting to get into Cox and Crendor, and the one guy, he's just like, I have this puzzle for you guys to solve. If you can solve it, I'll give you a prize. And it's this tiny little Rubik's cube. And I stood there in line trying to figure it out. I still haven't solved it. It's just going to be like the unsolvable Rubik's cube. You're going to see it change all the time because I'm going to keep trying, but it's just going to like sit up in the back and be unsolved forever. I don't know. Anyway, so we get into the panel. Jesse, of course, is already sitting up at the table. Crendor is not there. In his usual fashion, he was running behind. So, yeah, but we filed in. The crowd was awesome. The show was awesome. They, of course, did like just a live Cox and Crendor podcast. So they did the weather report and the traffic report and all that stuff. And then they went to news stories and they were just bantering and being delightful. And it was great. The whole thing was great. Jesse told the story. Apparently, his plane into Boston almost crashed. And he told like the entire saga of that story. And Mathis was there, and so was Alex Faciani and Gerard the Completionist. They didn't get up on the panel with him, but they just they were just sitting in the front, and it was cool. It was awesome. It was a good time. And actually, I have a small clip from it, which I'll play here right now while I'm eating cheese. And go. Yeah, so the panel was awesome. And then I got out there at 7. I had to run back to the media room to get some stuff that I had left in one of the cages there. And you're supposed to check it out by 7, and the show ended at 7. So it was literally right around the corner from the theater. But I just rushed in there so I wouldn't be like marked down as someone who didn't get their stuff or anything like that. And then I contacted Afro, but apparently they had been pushed out of the streamer area, so they were like they were already out of the building, and I'm like, all right, well, I'll just go back to my hotel too. That's fine. So I go to get on the shuttle, and I'm standing there for like 15 minutes in the cold, wearing a light jacket. My hands, like I stopped being able to feel my hands until finally I just look at the bus schedule and I realize the shuttle, for whatever reason, ended its run at 7 and it won't start up again until 10. Great. So I'm just standing there and I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go back into the conventional. Like, obviously the game floor is already closed, but I'm just like, whatever. There has to be something to do, and I can't just stand out here in the cold. So I go back in, and I look at my guidebook, and I realize there's still tons to do there. So I just start walking around, and I go to one of the rooms, and it's the Oculus Gear room, and it was awesome. So literally, it was this room just filled with like chairs and bean bags, and you just rented out an Oculus Gear, which is the Oculus powered by Samsung. You just got to sit down with a game controller and one of the bean bags, and you just got to play a game. And I played a game called Land's End, which was very chill and sort of misty, and it was just super cool and super chill. And VR is awesome. I have come to that conclusion. VR is super cool. And apparently, Afro told me later that there was some sort of like VR bodysuit experience over by where we were standing whenever we were looking at the computers, where you could put on like a bodysuit and you could like feel every hit and shot, apparently, which sounds awesome, but also horrifying. Like, could you imagine playing Call of Duty and just like getting riddled and just like feeling that? Oh my God, that would be awful. But cool, but terrible. Oh. Anyway, the Samsung Gear was awesome. And then after that, I wandered around a bit. There was a Jackbox section, so I kind of checked that out for a while, like people playing Jackbox Party Pack. And then I wandered around upstairs a bit, And then I wandered around downstairs. I was trying to find a place to charge my phone because my phone was dead and I couldn't like tweet or anything like that. So I was just trying to find like a place to chill. And then I realized half of the convention floor is still open. The tabletop half never closed, and you could still do PC free play, and like all that was still open. So I went back down to the convention floor, and I got in on all that. And actually, the Oculus Rift was open too, but I didn't go over there. But yeah, it was all open. People were playing tabletop games. People had rented out D&D spaces. I hung out in the Discord lounge for a while. People were playing Super Smash Brothers, like Nintendo 64 Super Smash Brothers, and there was like an arcade that you could play on. I played Frogger and like Ms. Pac-Man. It was great. It was awesome. PAX late night, man. It was sweet. Oh, I also got a sweet card game called Suddenly Drunk, where you can turn any board game into a drinking game. So that's going to get played this weekend. And yeah, it was great. It was great. The nice thing was that the Discord station also had a charging station there. So I was actually able to charge my phone there, which was nice. I had my cord with me, but whenever I tried to charge it in any of the like plugs around the convention center, it never seemed to really charge. But when I plugged it in at the Discord station, it like immediately turned back on. So I just chilled at the Discord station while my phone charged for like an hour or so, you know. I got some food and stuff, and then I just chilled. And then after a while there, and while walking around the game section, I ended up going up to the console free play section, where I finally experienced, at the very least, the opening stages of Ocarina of Time, a game that I never played for all my love of Zelda because I didn't have a 64, and I got a Wii too late to get in on Wii points because they changed them to Nintendo points, which don't work on Wii. So I've never played Ocarina of Time, which is super duper sad because I'm a huge Zelda fan. And I don't even feel like I can call myself that because I've never played Ocarina of Time. Well, I got to play some. I got to play some here. And it was pretty great, guys. I only made it to like the first dungeon inside the Deku Tree, but it was pretty spectacular. So yeah. I hung out and did that. And then after that, everything was kind of winding down. The convention hall actually closed at midnight. So I was just like, I hung out with the Discord booth for a little bit longer. I kind of walked around. I thought about going to the free play zone, the PC free play, and just like playing some games for a while. But I was like, no, because if I play on one of those computers, I'll never want to play on my own computer again. So I just called it a night, and it was sweet and awesome, and it was great. Yeah, first day of PAX, it was molto bene. It was beautiful, and that wraps up the first day. We finally got, what is this? It's probably been like an hour in total. Well, we finally got through what the first day of PAX was like. It was spectacular. It was awesome. Comes highly recommended. Highly, highly, highly recommended. And yeah, it was great. So if you made it to the end of the video, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope that you enjoyed all of my tales. I know I didn't talk about any games this time around. I was just talking about how my day ended, but next time I will start talking about games again because there were a ton of games that I checked out the second day that I cannot wait to share with you. So that's coming up next time on Janky at PAX. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you can leave a like down below. Comments, positive or negative. If you want to say something about PAX or you just have thoughts on the stories I told or anything like that, feel free to leave those below. Love reading them. Always try to respond if I can. And other than that, I hope you have a lovely day, evening, or whenever you happen to be watching. And if you happen to be catching this on St. Patrick's Day and you've made it all the way to the end of the video, please be sure if you plan on going out and celebrating the holiday tonight to be safe, be careful, do not drink and drive, always have a designated driver, download Uber if you need to. Carpool is super cheap. Uber Carpool is the best around. Nothing's ever going to keep it down. Be safe, friends. I love you all. And until the next time, this is Janky Shenanigans, signing out. Hey friends, hope you liked the video. If you did, you can find more of my content in the links off to the left here. And if you really like my content, you can become part of the year of 1,000 subs here on the channel and use that button down below to subscribe. But more than that, I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope to see you in the next video.